Hi, I'm Dr. DrJLT. There are many reasons why people take photos, and over the years I've taken many photos myself, and I've added some on my blog. In fact, earlier this year, I redesigned the blog. I originally was using WordPress, and now I'm basically doing a custom website, right? And so I feel like maybe why don't I make some videos talking about the photos that I've taken, because photos really can bring back memories. And just looking at the photos that I have taken, it seemed like so short. How to say? It seemed like just a blink of an eye, but a couple of years have gone by, and a lot have changed. And so this is the first album that I put on my blog, and this is Paris in the May of 2018. So let's just. I'll just give you a little background about May 2018 and why I took these pictures. It was at that time a couple of months before that. In fact, I ordered a Sony A7 III and also a matching lens, and I waited impatiently for weeks upon weeks to get this camera. And when I finally did it, I went to Paris and I took some pictures. So these are the results. Now this, I think, is a very interesting view. We have the Notre Dame de Paris. This, as we can see, was already taken at 10:30 in the evening. But nevertheless, because it was late May, the end of May, it was just maybe an hour after sunset, and thanks to the lightings, right, the city of light, right, we still have very clear view of the cathedral, and in front of it we see this bridge, and this is Sainte Geneviève. This is the Seine River, and we can see a lot of boats on the Seine River. It was, I think this was a very interesting, very beautiful view. It was not June yet, so it wasn't really summer, and as you can see, along the river there were not so many tourists, and people weren't really sitting outside just yet. I guess also because it wasn't it was probably a work day, it wasn't the weekend, so that helped too. And but nevertheless, a lot of ships on the river, and people were flocking into the city as tourists. So I think this is a very interesting photo, just because we get to see the cathedral before its tiles, its roof had been burnt off in the I think in March 2019. So this is another photo, and this is Sainte Geneviève. I think it's quite interesting as well. I think these photos probably I took them as JPEG. They were straight out of camera, but nevertheless I found like it was capturing something interesting. And this is just another view, a little bit wider angle than the first one. So we see more of the river and less of the cathedral. We can see a lot of ships docked along the bay, and if I had to venture to guess, some of them probably people were living in there, and although some probably were just walking boats. Not entirely sure on that front. On the right, we see the Île Saint-Louis, which is very, very posh, I would say, area. But nevertheless, it was posh in the sense that there are a lot of tourists and expensive shops and galleries, but not really posh in the sense that there are a lot of people living there. That's my gut feeling. Not entirely sure about that. So this is another photo that I took on the bridge. I think well, it was just quite interesting. You see a couple who probably had a dinner and they were going home, and I found like this setting was quite interesting. So that's why I took that photo. And this is the town hall of Paris. This photo, again, it was not, I think it was taken as a JPEG, so it was not processed. There was no post-processing, and probably for that reason there were some shadows that could be lifted up, but I didn't do it. So as you can see, the dynamic range is not exaggerated, but nevertheless, I think it was an interesting perspective. Looking at the river at night. It was 10 o'clock in the evening, as you can see here. Quite interesting. And then this is in the Saint-Germain-des-Prés area. I think this is a small restaurant. It just had very interesting facade. So this is why I took that picture. And yeah, this was me, and a friend took it for me. This was taken in front of Notre Dame de Paris. It is, as you can see, almost 10 o'clock in the evening. And this is another angle of Notre Dame de Paris. You can see the old tiled roof of the cathedral, and the spire which fell. A lot had changed. A lot had indeed changed. At that time, I think they were starting to fix, to do some repairs. Maybe they started even earlier. There have been constant repairs, but there were certainly. Also here, you can see here there were some people probably working, and there are some theories about how the fire started. I'm not entirely I'm not entirely certain about the development in that investigation, but something happened, and it was unfortunate. But knowing the working culture, the work culture here in France, it's not necessarily that surprising if accidents happen, and seeing the fact that the cathedral was not equipped with sufficient fire detection and mitigation equipment, it was already a miracle that it lasted so long, that it didn't had accidents of similar scale earlier. And I'm not saying just this single cathedral, but also across France there are many cathedrals. Of course, this one happened in Paris, but similar accidents didn't happen very frequently. Probably never had happened to a monument of this estate. This is a prestige. This is something that is already a miracle, right? So okay, so this is basically this album, and you can find it here. I will also leave the link in the description. So thanks for enjoying these photos with me, and I wish you a great day.